Hi everyone, this is Carlo and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to take you behind the scenes of the creation of my latest artwork that I called Costiera. I will show you how I usually create waves on a seascape using textured acrylics and mixed media. I've done a similar video a couple of years ago and it's still proving to be quite popular, but I think it's time for me to make an updated version. Once again, we're gonna talk about tools and techniques to make your waves a real surfer's paradise. So grab your pen and paper and make sure you watch until the end. When I paint ocean-inspired canvases with waves, I tend to divide the creative process into three important stages, which are texture, motion, and finish. In the texture phase, I create the foam of the crashing waves, and for that I need a base and a texture agent. On this particular artwork, I've used acrylic gesso as a base, which is smooth and lighter than a modeling paste, like for example the one from Sennelier that I use when I need a little bit more body in the mix. As a texture agent, I went for my favorite one, this extra coarse pumice gel by Golden that never lets me down. I mixed the two together and this will be the texture for the foam. I'm gonna show you now on paper how the application happens. Once I defined in my head how the waves will develop, I normally apply the texture paste with a palette knife or with a small brush if I need to go into smaller detail, just dabbing it on the surface. A very precious tool at this stage for me is a little natural sponge. After the application, I dab the sponge on the mix to give it a more porous and foamy effect, to fluff it up basically. It's also a great resource to use the natural pattern that the natural sponge has, to blend and progressively fade the foam into the rest of the waveform. The second step is to create motion. This is one of my favorite parts because in this stage I get to create the movement of the water, that rippling effect, and also to define the intensity of the tide, if it's a rough sea or if it's a calmer one. For this stage we can use a very small brush, but I normally tend to use two very good instruments that I can never do without, which are a white Posca marker 0.7mm and Uniball Signal white pen with two different sized nibs. The principle for creating the rippling effect of the waves is to draw very loose and elongated loops, starting from the textured elements we already applied on our artwork. On my canvas for this latest artwork, I started working on a line to define the end point of the crashing waves, and kind of connecting the texture together. Bear in mind, this must be irregular lines because we don't want the effect to look artificial and unrealistic. After this, I started working on the loose loops that I mentioned before. This is the moment where I connect the white prints left by my natural sponge earlier, and I created the actual design of the foamy water. I said before that this is one of my favorite parts, and it's mainly because it's very relaxing for me, like a true exercise in mindfulness. So yes, I suggest you to put on some music and get in the zone working on your waves. In the areas where the sea is supposed to be calm but not perfectly still, like it's moved by a gentle breeze, I tend to work with the Uniball Signal, keeping it very light and making larger loops, not elongated this time, but quite circular or like curvy polygons. The lines can fade here, they don't need to be consistent and completely visible. In this artwork, the waves are crashing against a rocky coast. So, to help producing that kind of motion, I diluted some titanium white with water, making this kind of runny mix. And I've used an old toothbrush along with a sturdy paintbrush to splatter the rocks where I want to create the crashing effect. I have to say this was another incredibly satisfying moment during the creation of Costiera, because it made the waves really pop. I let this dry completely and we are ready for the third phase, when we apply the finish to give a glossy effect to the water. The varnish that I usually go for is Winsor & Newton Artist's Gloss Varnish. It's the best that I tried so far. Formulated for oil paintings, but it works magic on acrylics too. It's perfectly clear and liquid, which allows me to have the exact grasp of how thin the layer of varnish will be, and it applies super smoothly. I recommend you to give it a couple of thin coats, letting every coat dry for at least one day. Try to often look sideways on your artwork to check if the varnish has created any puddles or bubbles, so you can smooth them up while it's still wet and runny. And this is the final result. Costiera is the first artwork that I terminated in the new year, so I'm very happy that I managed to share with you a part of the process. If you like this video, you can check my playlist dedicated to texture art, acrylics and watercolor. And feel free to comment below if you'd like to see more videos like this one, behind the scenes. Or simply to connect and say hi. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon.